you tonight. You told her you were going fishing. Oh, that's why she called. Okay, I understand. What? I crossed the line there? Of all the times? Okay, you go shore fishing and people will go out there and I mean, it's simple to get unsnagged when you're fishing from the shore, but the problem is people don't move. I mean, they're snagged down there and they're ripping and they're pulling. You're never going to just walk down the shore and pop it off. A little movement like that. The other thing I see people fish from the shore, it's crazy. They go out there and it doesn't matter whether they're fishing from a river, a lake, an ocean. They go out and cast as far out in the middle of the shore of the lake as they can. And when you talk to them, they say, if I could just cast 5 feet further, I'd catch so many more fish. And then you see people who get a brand new, beautiful bass boat. And they go out in the lake and they cast as close to the shore as they possibly can. And they tell you, if I could just get 5 inches closer, I would catch so many fish because the grass is always greener on the other side. Fish give you hints, ladies and gentlemen, little tiny hints. If I cast out in the middle of the lake, and then lo and behold, right about here, I catch a fish, I'm going to start casting paralleling that shoreline as opposed to casting out there. There's a reason those fish are sitting there. Maybe it's rocks, maybe it's weeds, maybe it's structure. I'm going to keep my bait in there and catch more. Plain and simple. It's that simple. But those little hints, you got to pay attention to. Everybody's always searching for that magic lure. What is it? That one thing that's going to catch them all the time.
Dynamite.
Okay, Italo. I'm sorry. It's not legal. Okay, but dynamite, yes. Yes, dynamite does work. Look at you guys. All of a sudden, somebody calling Italo right now. There's no one technique that works all the time. But there's a bunch of different techniques, but you have to pay attention to the little hints that fish give you. And they do give you hints. I mean, they're not like the hints that your significant other gives you the week before Valentine's Day, but they're hints. Little things like that. When you catch a fish in an area, duplicate it. JP was talking about golf a little while ago and comparing it. Think about it. When you went golfing, if you first started hitting that ball, you probably learned how to hold the club, and when you got a successful shot, you duplicated it. But we don't do that. We just go fishing. And most of us go hoping. We don't actually change and pay attention to the little tiny details. And we just go through the motions. All the time you see people and they're just out there. I can tell you, and I haven't fished with hardly anyone in this room, but I can guarantee you I know when you fish best. First thing in the morning. First thing in the morning you go out there. Wow. 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 Baba Zumi ain't got nothing on you, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to absolutely annihilate the lake. After about 5 minutes, it becomes... And then 5 minutes later, it's... This lake sucks. We blame the lake, or we blame the lure. We go through different lures, and we don't learn. We're like kids with controllers. Remember when you were a kid and you play a video game? There was always that kid down the street who would always blame his controller. I pressed jump and it didn't jump. There's something wrong with my controller. Don't blame the equipment. Blame yourself and make an adjustment. And I'll tell you, I mean, who here has watched my show? Yeah. That would have been so embarrassing if nobody said anything. If you see my show, I mean, when I decided, it was always my dream growing up to have a fishing show, to fish for a living. And when we decided to do it, I thought I was smarter than those other guys. I mean, I grew up watching all those great fishing shows, and I thought, those guys go to those swanky, nice places way up north for 5 days, catch a bunch of fish, then they take the 20 biggest ones, edit it all together, and, I'm not going to do that. That's way too easy. I'm going to do not a real fishing show. That was already done. Not very real, but yeah, it was done. Short Asian fella. Yes. There, he's like the Benny Hill dude. I've done seminars with him, except wider. I can say that because I battled the same demons. I've lost weight, have I? With Subway. Not that that's a plug or anything. No, it's just because I look chubby on TV. I haven't lost any weight. And when you had entered after the show, everywhere I go, people are like, "Oh, I thought you were so much taller." I'm going to introduce you to my camera guys. He's one of them right there, but I got to stand beside them, and you'll see why I look so tall on TV. Okay? If they held the fish, as opposed to me holding the fish, they'd look way bigger, ladies and gentlemen. But we started the show, and we said we're going to do it different. We're going to go out there, and we're going to show what really happens. You know, I'm going to only spend one day. And we're going to go and we're going to show how many casts, how many times I catch them, or how many times I don't catch them. It was a great idea at the time. And then I went out there and all of a sudden started to realize that, you know, it was great the first few shows. And then I went out once and I didn't catch them. And I thought, oh boy, I don't know if people will watch this show. And after that show aired, I realized that pretty much just Toronto Maple Leaf fans must watch my show. And the reason I can say that is because the ratings are better when I suck. Hey, I'm a Leaf fan. I'm a Leaf fan. I got a tweet from a Leaf... Montreal? Who are they? Are they in the playoffs? I don't care. It's fishing season, too. I got a tweet, no kidding. If you follow me on Twitter, I got a tweet from Tim Brett or whatever he plays for the Leafs. I don't know. And he sent me a tweet and he said, "Hey, Dave, big fan. If you'd ever like to take a Toronto Maple Leaf fishing, I'm your man. Call me." I responded, "Tim, big fan. If you'd ever like to make the playoffs, I'd like to watch them. Call me."